Guys, don't be so hard on the FBI. The FBI has always been the the most trustworthy, integral, spotless, lily white, alabaster. I think the idea was that at least if the legislature could trust them, like I mean, I'm not lying about the thing with Riyadh, for instance. You can't trust Islam, and it's not the Muslims, it's Islam, but it is Islam. First, do no harm, or you are not a doctor, and your opinion on the general use of beneficial chemicals is worth about as much as anybody else's. You might be an expert in chemistry. You know, biology is the study of the difference between a biochemist and a practicing medical diplomated doctor. Is first do no harm or we'll kill you. We don't jump straight to the killing these days. Whatever, you big softy. All right, whatever. We'll just disbar you. Go drive a bus. You can't legislate morality. What you can do is enforce trade rights universally. It's not all about protecting illicit black market. Democracy is not blanket immunity for absolutely whatever you did to make money to get elected. It's a rational authority. It has to withstand scrutiny and just be like, the people elected me, so I can declare myself king. It's not legal. They don't get to use the FBI for that. You served with this man. You know him like a brother. Die for you. This injustice will not be tolerated. Do anything. It's called fealty. It's legal. You got hired at a high school and they give you a badge and a gun, told you to go do whatever they say, and then it's the next guy and the guy after that. There has to be a reason that we bothered. They're raping little Irish kids and nerve gassing them and blaming whoever. It happened here though, and just leaving it like that. I mean, why should anybody care if your employer lives or dies? But these are, for the most part, working men and women. And when a guy shows up and he doesn't know what the hell's going on, you don't just drop little hints. Like, I go to the MPs at my former station, and I'm like, I guess I violated a gag. I don't know why I'm being accused of a leak. I've never breached anybody's personal security. I know how it's done. I've had to hack my own password. There's no complaint. Like, that's like punishing masturbation as rape. Like, don't worry about it, Father. I'll get that bastard back myself. We're not, on a caravan between oases where it could become a health concern or attract, unwanted spirits. Talk about anybody who says stay out of our bedrooms is gay. Takes one to know one. So I come down there and, I'm like trying to get help with, crimes against the state and humanity. Just break the ice. And I got people who got their arms folded. One had the initiative, whatever, the gumption to go in a back room and giggle loud enough for me to hear. So, a clue. Go all the way to my former duty station, try to turn myself in. Can I take a shower? Can you arrest me? Been sleeping in a junkyard for 3 days, trying to get a job for the DA out there, and Jabba the Hutt apparently ate him just immediately prior to my arrival. How'd you get in here? I don't know. I just opened the door. I was smoking a cigarette. Some people came in. I guess the humans, it looked like I might belong here. Come in with a hot stack of Xerox. Like that's supposed to click with me. Did you just take them out of the microwave? We saved $100 per system switching to Windows 95 instead of IBM, or instead of Apple, when we apparently bankrupted IBM quietly. And it was the most expensive mistake in human history, other than letting Trump have 7 international corporate bankruptcies. What do you guys do anymore? What do you even do? Can Secret Service investigate it as counterfeiting, or how do you want to do this? So a thing on your readout said that It didn't matter if somebody was going around killing whole Italian families, and there was a construction business, and there were Mexicans were employed at the, could just be presented to rational authority at gunpoint. You can't ban, well, obviously you can't ban enhanced interrogation. I don't come around telling you can't give people pentothal, whatever, he's a terrorist. But first, do no harm, or you're not a doctor. So where'd you get the pentothal, son? Either we don't have abortions, but we do have shotgun weddings, or we don't have shotgun weddings, but a doctor can assert some kind of discretion on behalf of a responsible authority, and there has to be a name so we're not sacrificing infants to God. Shotgun weddings are totally legit. Boarding schools, spankings. Like, you're gonna starve if you can't just lock people up because they have no discipline by the time they're an adult. What a real job. So you can't play an all-knowing God with someone who at least knows what they did. So what, the United Nations called me a retard and a liar and a fag as a premise to send that to investigate me? I mean, if it's not legal, it's not the law. It must be a religious assertion. What do I do to deserve that? First, do no harm. All right? And then investigate. I'll kill or be killed for you. As far as religious assertions, if you're unsure whether this may or may not be the guy you're looking for, the devil had 40 days and nights to try the one and only Messiah, the living Son of God, and he would have had to get a warrant or get back in his boat. And who the hell you think you are? Like, we can't afford for you to take your marching orders from the Saudis. Well, I'm kind of scared to go to the Middle East. I'd rather just stay here and waylay these people and go home and eat dinner with my kids and sleep in bed with my wife and get up tomorrow and do it again and call it a war of my own. This does not accurately portray the agents whom I have had the privilege of being snubbed by. However, I did have a case, and the last time I tried to report anything by phone, received more threats, turned up Riyadh. So what are we doing, guys? Just to take this puppy down? It's gonna rock the vote until it sinks. From time to time, Islam invades Europe. And what are we gonna do about it? I mean, the church has to feed them. That's where their authority comes from. So we get invaded, and they're not fighting us, they're just starving. Okay, so Wells Fargo, which is, if not Nigeria, at the mercy of Nigeria for a fact, takes a dive to the tune of 50,000 cloned accounts. Like a week or two later, ends up costing Deutsche Bank over 100,000 Syrian refugees. Bill Gates just gave World Health $20 billion. The field office in Fort Pierce, which would have been the most convenient, and I mean, they were both obviously kind of jaded, my kind of operators, would have been the most convenient place for me to go be like, watch this right now. Well, it got liquidated. It's a corporate venture now. And the sad thing is, if this gets ugly, you're going to look at your readout and you're going to be like, oh, I have no ethical leg to stand on. It's just going to be some guys with badges that you can buy on eBay and guns that you can buy from Mexicans, and a corporation that making a lot of money for doing pretty much the same thing you are, only operating in the open with at least as much ethical defensibility as you are leaving your employers with. The hits keep coming, kids. I wake up in the morning, I put my pants on one leg at a time, just like anybody else, and then I make gold records. I'm a Jackson. My name is Smith. I am a member of the Jackson family tree, as well as the Whitman and apparently Washington family tree. And my my personal henchmen here are unable to investigate child molestation or entrapment, or corruption, or sabotage. Pedophile is someone who identifies a juvenile minor as a sexual object. Okay, a child molester is someone who acts on it. One's crazy, the other one's done. Anger, frustration, confusion, even depression. These are all extremes of the normal range of human emotion. Just because we have a chemical that suppresses them doesn't mean we have to mass market it to everybody and then try to corral them into a politically expedient agenda. We repealed Roe versus Wade, so that would have been the ostensible reason for abolishing the Hippocratic Oath. First, do no harm, or from about 1,000 years BC until 1972, you're not a doctor. So the definition of doctor was established for 3,000 years, and then now we've got people who are not a doctor calling themselves a doctor. No big deal, it doesn't affect me any. Well, I mean, for instance, if you were a doctor, then there would be no argument for trading openly with the messenger of Allah here. A real doctor can call up the Senate and be like, oh, my plug in Abu Dhabi bit the dust. I need a Navy. Democracy! They can go and legally, because his daddy got attacked. But first, do no harm. You're not a diplomat. When the Bible was written, this was not as much of a concern. They were trying to repel the barbarians. It wasn't an excuse to become one. The barbarians are a threat because, I mean, when you call somebody crazy, you're not talking about, oh, their brain don't work right because they have a chemical, etc. Somebody's maladjusted or whatever, they're dangerous. That's, we'll pay you for that. They can't take care of themselves. The church, you don't just go around calling people crazy because you need something, you got nothing better to do. First, do no harm. And then I promise you, on my life, you have never seen crazy. The infantry, we call them grunts. They carry a heavy load. They dig ditches. They fear nothing. Marines are called Marines. Sailors, Navy's called sailors. The cavalry are called dragoons. What the hell is a dragoon? Just pray to Christ you never find out. The only way to defeat Islam is to not compete with Islam. We do not smuggle illicit substances to fund our campaigns. First, do no harm, and then I'll bring your freighter back, the American flag. But I want to know who's responsible for this investigation, because they are clearly insane.